Hey friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothes, I list them on eBay and Poshmark, and hopefully sell them for a profit. Today's July 4th. If you live in the US, happy 4th of July. I hope you're celebrating well. We have been working out in the yard, we have been playing in a pool, I have been reading a book. It's been a fun day. I mowed the grass. It's hot. Probably hot where you are too. I have sold 5 things over the last 24 hours, which is amazing because I need to sell some things. The gross sales amount is $100.98, and I'll tell you my profit at the end. Hopefully I'll remember. The first are a pair of sweatpants. They're like a wide leg pair of sweatpants. These are the brand Athleta, and you can see right there it says these are the balance pants, and the balance pants have an average sale price of $27.81 with a 16% sell-through rate. These are sadly the best things that I sold today because I only sold them for $25. I mean, I'm happy that I sold them for $25. I'm just saying a lot of low dollar sales today, but that's okay. Every dollar is more than the dollar I had prior, right? So these sold for $25 on Poshmark. I bought them for $5 in Indianapolis, which is, I live in Indiana, so it's the biggest city closest to me, I guess. And I didn't look to see where I bought them. Probably Noblesville, like the Salvation Army or Goodwill or something. I'm not really sure. 5 months ago. What happened 5 months ago? I don't know. I was thinking maybe it was when I went with my daughter, but regardless, I bought them for $5. They took 5 months to sell, and my profit is $15. And I feel like I'm missing information to tell you, but I don't think I am. These sold on Poshmark, so I'm shipping them in a Tyvek mailer, and they have little flaps that I don't think stay down, so I add these little priority stickers to the corners. I like to wrap everything in tissue paper and put a little thank you sticker on it, but I don't think that's necessary. I think you could just put it in a poly mailer and be done with it. I think that's totally fine. All right, these are a pair of Torid pants, and these, I looked up joggers. They're not really joggers, but they're, you know, tapered and have like a little ruching here. And so they give the look of a jogger, you know, does that make sense? Maybe they would be considered a jogger. I always think of joggers as having like a band right here, but Torid is one of my favorite brands to resell generally. I think these are probably pretty old style. Yeah, 2018. So, I don't know. I just thought they were kind of cute. And I bought them at my favorite thrift store for 50 cents. So, usually, when my cost of goods is pretty low, very low in this case, I will take a risk on something that I feel familiar with the brand, even though, you know, maybe the style's not quite as current. However, I guess in my mind, people are still wearing joggers. I did just hear recently that joggers are on the way out. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I heard. Anyway, these sold for $15 on eBay. Sorry, everything else sold on eBay. With shipping, they paid a total of $21.21. Torid joggers have an average sale price of $18.36 with a 12% sell-through rate. I have not. Nope. I'm keeping an eye out. I've had these for 13 months, which isn't surprising considering the very low sell-through rate. And my profit is $12.14, which, like I said, I'll take. It was $12 I didn't have before. Because everyone is in and out mostly today, it is likely that I will get interrupted a lot if you are new to my channel. I don't often edit out interruptions. There's two reasons for that. One is I don't really like to edit. And because I do these videos every day, it takes too much time for me to make them like perfect videos. And that's not really my goal anyway. Two is I really like to be pretty transparent and realistic, and interruptions are a part of how I do my business. So these are a very bright pair of pink pants, and these are Vineyard Vines, and they're called the Breaker Pant. And I know that because they're new with tags, and it says so right there, which is very helpful. I wonder if it says it on the inside anywhere. Oh, it does right there. That's really helpful. I love when, like those Athleta pants, I love when brands put the style name on the garment. It just makes it so much easier. One, for me as a seller, so I know how to list things, and then two, as a consumer, that way when I love something, I know what it is that I love, and I can go and order more, whether it's on a reselling platform like eBay, Poshmark, or even just on their website to go back and find something else. Yes, ma'am.
Daniel with me would have eaten those pants up.
You would have loved those.
I had a pair of neon blue ones when I was 10.
When you were 10, you did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I believe you. You have a better memory than I do. These are men's pants, however.
They were women's, so.
Yours, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Vineyard Vine Breaker Pants have an average sale price of $24.13 with a 21% sell-through rate. Now I didn't check the bright pink color exactly, and I think it's helpful sometimes when comping to look, you know, at color, at size. But when I do comps for these videos, I just do pretty basic comps most of the time. Anyway, these sold for $18.37 plus shipping on eBay. With shipping, they paid $22.55. I've had these for 16 months. That's too long, in my opinion. And I paid $3.50 for them at a liquidation store, and my profit is $9.69. Now, generally, I wouldn't mind just, you know, 3 timesing my money real quick, but that wasn't real quick. And I generally don't mind taking longer to sell some things. I just have kind of limited space, and so the faster I can sell things, the better. This is a Hawaiian shirt, and usually I'm all about these, but this is not a great brand, and I don't really know why. King Kamaha? Probably not. Kameha. And this is a really low sell-through rate. It's just polyester, and I don't think it's made in Hawaii. This is the only tag on there other than it says 3XL. So the average sale price is $13.82 with a 13% sell-through rate. Yeah, somebody offered me $10 and I was like, let's do that. So $10 plus shipping, they paid $15.84. I paid 50 cents for it at a free sale, which sounds funny, but this was a long time ago. It says I've only had this listed 9 months, so maybe it was in the fall. I was just out and I passed this sign that said free sale on a church building, and so I went in and got a bunch of stuff, and then they were asking for donations on the way out, so I made a donation, and when I divided that donation between the items that I got, it was 50 cents a piece. So that's how that worked out, and my profit is $7.96. And I keep wondering if they're gonna do a free sale again, because that was kind of fun. It was one of those, like, I knew some people that went to that church, so I could talk to them while I was in there. They had a lot. It was huge, massive. Not something I come across very often, and I don't know how they advertised. Like, it was just kind of one of those, I don't want to say dumb luck, but that's kind of what it felt like, dumb luck, like that I happened to be driving by when they were putting out the sign. So All right, this is not something I know much about at all. This is a cycling jersey. I've sold a few of them because I have a ton of them, because one of my favorite thrift stores has like priced items and like bag sale items. And at the end of the summer last year, they were trying to like clear out some of their priced items. And so they made me just a really good deal with a lot of things. And the cycling stuff was one of those things. So anyway, this actually doesn't have a tag label, but the brand I'm gonna say is called Canary. I mean, it has a bird, right? So it's gotta be Canary. Anyway, it says Bicycle Art, Indie Express. So it definitely was for like a race. Probably my guess would be this was like a freebie, or not. You know, like when you register for a race and you get like a shirt to go with it. That's my guess. Canary cycling jerseys, just in general, have an average sale price of $15.27 with a 14% sell-through rate. There are some cycling brands that have really good sell-through rates. I did not look those up for you today. Maybe I should have. But like I said, I'm playing in the yard today, not necessarily working, although I did want to get this done. So this sold for $11.97, which is definitely lower. And I don't think I mentioned this, maybe I should have, but I did have quite a few lower items than the average sale price. There are two reasons for that. One, when something has a super low sell-through rate, like 14%, really anything probably under like 20, maybe even 25 for me. Sometimes, not always, sometimes I will comp, I will price on the lower side of comps. So if the average sale price is $15 and it's a 14% sell-through rate, I'm gonna price it at $15 and take less. The other thing is, because it's a holiday weekend, I went ahead and put a sale on my store on eBay for 20% off, and then I kept my 15% off coupon. And so a couple people used my coupon with the sale. So, and I think this was the case with this. I could be wrong. I think I had it listed at $20, which probably I shouldn't have done. I probably should have listed it at $15. But anyway, regardless. With shipping, they paid $16.38. I paid 70 cents for it at my favorite thrift store, like we already talked about. It sold in 7 months, and my profit is $7.86. Woo! I have some packages. This one is from eBay, and I've had this one sitting in my house for a while because I was gone, like all of June. I know what it is, and so I just like left it there. But I always like to open packages with you. One, because it's more fun that way. Two, and it kind of goes back to that whole, like, I just like to show all the things if I can, right? And this is part of all the things. So I bought poly mailers with my eBay shipping supply coupon that I get for having a store. I have I think it's the third tier. There's like a $5 tier, a $25, and then I pay $60, which I really don't need. But when I needed it 1 month, and instead of, I did it wrong. And I think I like locked myself into like a year pricing. And so in order for me to go down, I had to pay like $200. And I was like, that's dumb. So anyway, these are just 10 by 13 poly mailers. For a while, they had, were they biodegradable, compostable, something, but I haven't seen those in a while. Anyway, I got 2 of these. I get a $50 coupon, and these together are like $47. And so I don't actually use all my coupon, but I feel like it's the best way for me to do it right now. I might find a different way to do it in the future, but right now that's what I do. And sometimes I buy boxes. I buy these, I'll show you. These are 8 by 6 by 4, and I use these for bras, hats, belts, anything that'll fit in there. But I try to keep everything really simple. All right. So this is a package that came to me, and it just says return to sender. No such street, unable to forward. So when I was gone, I had some weird emails from Depop, and I haven't really had a chance to look into it yet, but I think this is part of it. Somebody didn't get what they ordered on Depop, and I just know because I know I sold this on Depop. I opened it yesterday just because I was like, I don't know what this is. But it's been sitting in my P.O. box for a while. So this is a Vera Bradley bag. It's vintage, made in the USA. I don't remember what that print was called, if I even had a name for it ever. I'm sure there's a way to find out the Vera Bradley prints, but I don't know what they are. So one thing I went ahead and did yesterday was put these back into my inventory system, this, and there's one more. I wanted to show you.
Has he come by yet?
No, he hasn't come by yet. When I do edit my interruptions out, it's usually for my children's safety or privacy reasons. That was one of the things. It was funny. I wish I could share it with you, but I'm gonna keep my kids private. Okay, anyway. I put a SKU number on these, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a box ready to relist again. So this was another kind of sad return. I opened this yesterday too, but like I said, I just like to share all the things with you, and sometimes returns are part of that. I sold these Caslon, C-A-S-L-O-N. They're 100% linen joggers, again, kind of in that same color as the Torid ones, but these are 100% linen. I sold these for like $15, not much. And when they got them, they said, hey, these actually don't stay up because they don't have elastic. And I was like, yeah, it says drawstring in the listing. I didn't say that, but I just said, go ahead and return them. They returned them. They did do the return as item not as described. I felt like these were described because it does say drawstring on them, and I don't recall that it says elastic anywhere in the thing. So anyway, when I did the relisting yesterday, I went ahead and wrote in the description that there is no elastic, it's only a drawstring closing. It's kind of a bummer, but it happens sometimes, you know? I think I do paid returns, but when they select item not as described, I do have to pay that return label and their shipping to them, which kind of stinks. So now I'm out like $10 on a $15 pair of pants. So that's kind of frustrating. Actually, that makes me wonder if I should even relist them again. Yeah, I need to recoup some money, right? Anyway, like I said, kind of frustrating, but just part of it. I realized I never told you my profit. It is $52.65. So not quite at my goal for the day. However, I'm happy for any sales right now. So, all right. I was trying to think of a good question of the day. And I think, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking along the lines of, you know what, it's really hot. I'm gonna take a drink of my water. This is Spindrift Nojito, which is just mint and lime, and it's really good. If you like carbonated water, Spindrift is the best, in my opinion. Anyway, this is your friendly reminder to hydrate. I was just thinking about the 4th of July. I get a little, I don't know, nostalgic isn't the right word, but something along those lines on the 4th of July, and I feel very privileged to live in the United States. I realize that politically things are really polarized right now, and it's really hard. No matter what end of the spectrum you're on as far as politics. And I firmly believe that you can believe different from me and we can still be friends. But I was just thinking, I'm curious, not whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, I don't care about that. But I am curious, if you live in the US, what it is that you like about the US. What are you thankful for? What are you grateful for? For me, a big part of it is just like freedom of education. For me, we're a homeschool family. I really am grateful that I have the privilege. I realize there are a lot of countries that you don't have the choice of education. You have to send your kids to, whatever it is available. So I'm really, really grateful for that privilege. And I realize that we just have a lot of freedoms that many other countries don't. And I'm very grateful for that. So I'm just curious what it is that you're grateful for living in the United States. What are some things that you like about the country? And if you don't live in the US, tell me what it is that you like about your country. I would love to hear about that too. So, all right, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I always appreciate being able to share my sales with you, my returns with you, my purchases, just all the things. It makes it a little more fun to do it with a friend. So I really appreciate you. Make sure you like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.